How would you structure the police? That's so fucking complicated, dude. Okay, first of all, police should be more liable, legally, not less liable. So, oh god, my brain is soup. The thing, qualified immunity, that needs to be severely edited. There are obviously some contexts in which qualified immunity is defensible, of course. They do a lot of stuff that regular people don't do. I understand that, but as it's currently applied, qualified immunity has, like, insane reach to protect them. The investigations within police departments should be done by independent investigators by default and not like internal investigation, because cops are a gang and they will always defend their own. Legal proceedings brought against police officers should be done in the same fashion as regular people. The union protects them very effectively, and you have the whole like grand jury where like 90% of the time like it doesn't even go anywhere. Police officers should be defending neighborhoods that they are in. It should not be lawful for like dudes from the suburbs to drive 40 minutes in because they want to like police black people, so they get white people from the suburbs who fucking hate. You're literally bringing in the guys who left due to white flight. You're bringing those guys in to keep policing the black people they fled from, you know. Should police have unions? Not in the fashion they do now. The job of the union is to protect employees against their boss, which in the case of cops is the government, but police unions don't. Police unions protect cops from us. They protect cops from our legal liability. Police unions aren't even unions, like in a functional, they don't even like do the thing that unions are meant to do. It's just racketeering. It's just like a criminal enterprise that like masquerades as a union. I'm fine with cops having unions in the sense like unions as they actually like are meant to be, which is protecting them from like unfair work standards from the government, you know. If that's what they did, like, hey, make sure cops get proper safety training, make sure their stuff is regularly upkeeped, make sure that they aren't working like 16-hour shifts or whatever. Yeah, fuck yeah. Then that union, cops should have that. Yeah. But that's not what cop like unions do right now. Cop unions go out and make PR statements about how everyone who gets mad at them for shooting black people is un-American, and how cops have a dangerous job, and how anyone who questions it is actually like a big mega cut communist or something. Yeah, kind of boy. It's really complicated. I don't want to pretend to be an expert on it, but a lot of stuff in this direction. At the end of the day, like cops should be the best of a community. Like the ideal police officer is an exemplar of and a lover of the community that they police. They should be like a pillar of that community, rather than a bunch of fat bloviating racist fucks who commute in from the suburbs so that they can spend their day job like eating donuts and fucking shouting racial slurs over the radio. You know, you want them to, and especially too, because if they're from the neighborhoods that they patrol, they're much less likely to engage in bad behavior. You know, I'm telling you, cops do not gun down innocent people 3 blocks from where they live for multiple reasons, all of which are good reasons that I support being relevant. You know, but it's complicated. The cops should be neighbors you go for an emergency if you even see them off duty, right? Well, that would be the ideal cop, right? Like the ideal police officer should be like the kind of person who's like the local like city problem solver, like connection, you know what I mean? Like it should be about trust, ideally. And there are roots to that if you go back far enough, right? Like for example, village watchmen had to be trusted by the village, because if they were thought to be corrupt or deceitful or engage in practices harmful to the village, these motherfuckers would get like stabbed to death at 3 a.m. and like their corpse would be found in a pig, like in a pig vat or whatever, you know. But nowadays everything's so like bureaucratized, and everything's so, not pig vat, like pigsty or whatever. Everything's so bureaucratized, everything is so depersonalized that like it doesn't work that way anymore. And I mean, that's good. I'm not saying like vigilante murder is the solution to bad cop behavior, because it's not at all. I'm only saying that like there used to be a sense of immediate accountability to your community that just doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. Not in not in big cities at least, you know, maybe some smaller towns. That's a thing. But smaller town cops have a big problem with racism, you know, like a big problem. I think I've heard maybe one story of a good police department, and it was in like a small southern, mostly black town where the cops were all black, and all the people there trusted the cops, and the cops were good to the people. But this was like a 2,000 person, or not 2,000, maybe like 6,000 person. It wasn't just an email. Like, it was something like back in 2020, somebody just said like, you know, there's a better world out there. I grew up in this town and so on. And I don't know how scalable that is, but how do you do they know the people in the neighborhood in big cities though? Well, a lot of it is about demographics and a lot of it is about like familiarity too, you know? Like there is a reason so many police departments hire from suburbs outside the city and it's highly racialized. But usually people who live in a community kind of like that community, right? Like people are self-interested. If you want a community to be well run, you want it to be represented by and controlled by people in that community, right? That's why we believe in democracy. And likewise, like if you're going to have representatives of state power present in a community, you want them to at least ideally feel a sense of connection, you know, like they live there, they shop there, they work there, they walk the streets they live down. Somebody will see a guy in uniform walking down the street, and then like later that same guy out of uniform will be walking down that same street to get groceries. Like that's a good start. That's like a good like basic starting point to work from, in my opinion. And there are enough people to do this. So affirmative action for police? No, I'm just saying let them patrol the neighborhoods they come from. That's not affirmative action. I'm not opposed to affirmative action for police. I'm just saying. Do you have an opinion on a national instead of state, city level police force? Wouldn't that be worse? We're talking about keeping people in their communities. If everything's done at a national level, you could have people, I mean, you even further abstract the community element. A good cop drives the drunk teenager home because he knows the parents. Yeah, like that'd be a good, yeah. Didn't they stop doing all that because people were unable to remove their personal biases when policing, so they would target people just because they disliked them? What's your answer to this? That is a risk, but I don't know if that poses more of a problem than what we currently see. I mean, it's not as though police corruption is not currently an issue, right? I don't know, like, the promise of favoritism, it seems like it's always going to be there. I just feel like there are other external factors to be considered and weighed against. I mean, yeah, they do target people right now, right? That's why a lot of cops act like they're an occupying army, you know? They're wearing their Oakleys, they're walking around, they're thinking, I'm the only tough son of a gun in these parts. It's me, the thin line between chaos and civilization, he says as he eyes like a black teenager, like paying for parking or something, like glaring at him. Yeah, I'm the only one protecting these sheep, you know? I think the biases are still present. It's just the ways in which they manifest. You know, this may not be a super pro cop stream,